back.
Hi.
That was kind of weird there.
That was weird. Was it glitchy?
Like frozen and not frozen.
How are we doing now?
Let it go.
Okay. I guess we're good. We're good.
Yep.
Yeah, we're good.
So, all right.
Yeah.
In this video, we're done with Inverness.
Yep.
So, we're going to be talking about the last city of Scotland that we visited. And we're also going to be traveling south for the first time in a very long time.
Yes.
We're going to... Dun, dun, dun.
Glasgow.
Glasgow. So, we were here. We're going to go here.
While we were in Edinburgh, one of the first gentlemen we had come across and chatted with had said that we would probably love Glasgow best because we had given him an itinerary vaguely of where we were going to go.
The kind of things we're doing.
He was a Scotsman, of course, young kid, college kid, and he's like, you're going to love Glasgow the best. And he was not wrong.
He was not.
He was not. I mean, Aberdeen was still great, but...
Right. So, we were
Glasgow.
in Inverness, and we were going to take ScotRail, just like everywhere else. But weather was terrible, so let me explain how we got there. Whoa, no. Okay, so up here, this is Inverness. And this big box over here is... There's just a lot of trains. Anyway, this is kind of Glasgow, all right? So the natural way to go is to go down kind of one train, right? And then it kind of takes you there. But this train route was a no-go. So we could take a bus-ish, which ended up also not being a real option, to Perth. But again, not a real option. No. So what we ended up doing is we took a train across back to Aberdeen.
So now, it's kind of a good thing that we had been there because there was a little bit of familiarity.
We knew the station already.
Yeah.
Now we had because they gave us new kind of tickets and here's what you're going to do.
Route. Yep.
And don't worry, you got this. But the thing is, the train's going kind of slow, and
the weather's not good.
The weather's awful.
Yeah.
And so we ended up at Aberdeen Station with very little time. And so when we pulled in, we had to go around to the next platform.
Yeah.
Sure, there was an elevator, but there's also people in wheelchairs and carts that have to get up and around.
In a tiniest elevator
so
you'd
it's
ever
like
seen at a train
three
station.
People they're climbing on top of each other.
Yeah.
We're
with
like,
luggage.
We're looking at the clock. They don't have to catch another train. Maybe they do, but we do.
Right.
And we're like, all right, so we have to fly up the staircase.
Just a shot of adrenaline. We both picked up our bags and we ran up like...
Oh man, we were fit as a fiddle at that point.
2.5 flights of stairs.
Yeah, I want to say. It was tall.
It was,
because there's another floor at the top that...
Yeah, and it's a train station. So anyway,
we raced up.
Yep.
There's other people around. We're carrying our bags. No wheels for us today. We got the Pelicans. We're just...
But we actually got to
the train
with a few minutes to spare. So we were actually lucky in the sense that we could, still put our bags away and still find a seat that was available.
Nice and comfy one.
Comfy one. With a table. So we were still lucky enough to be able to get all of that.
It's all digital.
Despite only having like 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, it was a tight call. We made it though. We made it. The train was already like there.
I never felt more fit.
That was not something we could have done in Portland at the start of all this.
No.
So then we jumped on the second train, and the second train goes, and there we were.
Yeah.
But it was a very long day because we've detoured and we've had other delays. So it is definitely dark when we grabbed a quick cab to get us to our hotel room. We are hungry. We haven't eaten in a long time, beyond snacks. So here's
some evidence. This is some evidence. These are our nice pictures.
This is the nice pictures of that train.
These are the clear,
beautiful weather. Looks like a place you want to go out, and that sky isn't hazy. It's just raining.
It's all rain. The little shadows that you can kind of make out in the background might be trees. I have no idea.
No, those are people saying, please let me on the train.
But we got off the train, quick cab ride. And
right under our hotel is Do you want to describe this
It's
wonderful
it's
eatery?
it's a for Hawaii peeps. It's a shabu shabu.
And
But it's also like a Korean or like a yakiniku as well. So it kind of has all of it.
so for those
in
not
one.
from Hawaii, we have a soup that you cook inside the base.
Yep.
Where you can toss the meat into boiling broth. Yep. Mm-hmm. Or you can, what you're seeing Julia do right here, you can just grill meat and veggies right on there. It's
Yep.
all you can eat. And they
Yep.
also had buffet style things that have nothing to do with this. Was it expensive? Yes. But why did you ask that? The point is, we were starving, and this was really good.
And it was literally right downstairs from our
Yeah,
hotel.
yeah,
I didn't even need to put my coat back on.
Oh, man. It was so good.
And the hotel was
Okay, no, I guess it's now when we kind of... Let's flip off of the deliciousness. But go there. What was the name of it?
come on in, hot pot.
Come on in, Hot Pot. Fantastic food.
Good,
Highly
really
recommended.
good
I'm
food.
sliding out of frame.
Yeah.
Oh no, we should be closer together. So, with this up, I'm going to make fun of our great and glorious.
Oh.
Would you say this is the worst hotel on the entire
This
trip?
was the worst hotel as far as the bathroom situation.
If it's not the worst overall, it is second worst.
But it wasn't the worst
It's-
as far as room size. There was one more hotel that was worse room
That
size.
said-
but this was the worst bathroom.
Harry Potter would have been like, wow, what a small room.
It was pretty.
I've seen closets bigger than this.
So this
So
this
how do
room
we-
this room had a window, except I couldn't see because it was
Too tall.
It was above my head.
It was just a narrow band.
So I had to stand on my tippy toes to just see just the edge of the window.
Yeah, and you could see a building across. It's just like there was nothing there.
And I don't know if it was the weather combined with the
Oh, the
situation
weeping
of the
walls.
hotel, but we had weeping walls. And what we mean is that there was constant condensation all over our walls. Now,
Right.
I don't know if this is something that is a thing in parts of the world, but I've never experienced
but,
this.
I mean, I've seen it other places, but not in hotels.
And it was
Usually hotels
constant.
have solved this.
So all of our even though the room was slightly bigger than the smallest hotel,
haven't gotten there yet.
we had to put our bags away from the wall, so it
Right,
kind
so
of
we
cut
lost
off some space.
Right, in which we really didn't have. So, let's say you were to walk in this room, and then you wanted to go into the bathroom. It would take logistics to make that happen. Our bags had to go like under places; they couldn't be left out. It was.
We had one kind of shelf that we stored our food on, but normally like no desk, so there's no desk,
Right, and
nothing,
that's-
no chair.
That shelf got wet, so be careful.
Yeah, have we mentioned? Is this our first?
This is our first easy
Okay,
hotel.
so it's
like,
the Easy Hotel chain,
and
and I don't like leaving bad reviews, so
It
that's
sucked.
the only reason why we didn't
Nope.
leave one.
it was
But
awful.
it was.
But okay, I want to
Yeah.
talk about something
It was pretty
connected
bad.
to. So I have this analogy, and I'm going to go through it. This is my card analogy. You know my card analogy. right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in my mind, every city has a little stack of cards, and imagine you're playing poker or something like that, where there's a perfect hand and there's a terrible hand, right? And don't get too in the weeds here. But you have a little stack of cards, and you have to draw cards. And some cities, they drew the best cards they had in their mini deck. And so they showed us the best they have. Mm-hmm. And okay, Inverness, respectfully, the best you have was okay. It was decent. And then you have cities like here, where we know the city is better than what we experienced.
Yes.
And so we don't want to make people think, wow, so the city sounds like it was awful. It's like that. This is just a hotel.
Yeah, it was a crappy hotel situation and it was our first real kind of like, no, this is a hotel that's just like a step up above a hostel.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
it's like one of those things where it's like it was like a culture shock almost for us, because we had been in regular kind of Holiday Inn type hotels.
Right, we'd been in normal hotels.
Normal,
so, for example,
2-3 star hotels.
when you go into the lobby, which is on the one floor up from the ground, you then have to keep going up to get to the room. And in the lobby, there's nothing. So there's no hot water heater in the room or anything like that.
No kettle.
And the hot water in the lobby is not free.
Yeah.
You have to pay for the water. Pay for hot water.
Yeah. We had to pay
so that might sound bougie, but like there's nothing that isn't charged for. Okay.
So that was a little bit of a bummer, and really
there was a number of other bummers that were hitting at the same time. You first?
So my computer had broken.
Oh, yeah,
like the first day we were there. So we couldn't get any work done. We couldn't there wasn't a time for us to go get it fixed, because we just weren't going to spend long enough in Glasgow. So we basically didn't have my computer for the entire time.
And if you want to be really nerdy about this and try to figure out which video we were at, this is the Canard video, and that's why it's a slideshow and not this.
Yes.
We're just sliding through the pictures.
Yeah.
It's the first time we used this computer to do it. Okay. But at the same time, while her computer was dying, I had my filling fall out. So that was fun.
Oh yeah, we did have a couple of slight medical
else happen,
issues
there. Were you having a fun time?
I had the probably the worst monthly visitation I had ever had was also this month. And so having to stay on top of that situation, which is
and
horrible,
the weather was just awful,
and the weather being horrible, having to stay in that hotel room.
Yeah, there are hotel rooms that we've been like, oh no, we have to stay in this.
Yeah,
like La Forquet. If you watched our Guernsey video, you can go back and see that wouldn't have been suffering.
That would have been fine for me to stay in for a whole day, but this was a little hard to stay in. At one point I even dragged myself out just so that I wasn't surrounded constantly. But there were really awesome things that we did. Yes. So let's move it along.
All right. This is getting a little depressing. All right. So let's talk about Donald Dewar, which is maybe not how it's pronounced. This is his statue outside of the mall that was right next to us. Mm-hmm. Fantastic mall.
Really good mall.
And who is he? He was the first minister of Scotland. Before that, they didn't have them. And so I had assumed, because the guy was born in like 1937, so I'm like, wait a minute, when was this? It was 1999. They didn't have a first minister until then, because, I don't know, empire and colonization and,
whatever.
England was being Englandy to everyone.
Brexit, something or another.
No, that's different. 1999. They were there were troubles, but they weren't here.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
So this next one is
they had rail.
They had rail. It was really
we
cool,
did not go on. It was just a simple loop.
Yeah.
And we were too close in to need it. So, but we wanted to point out that it did exist. And awesome.
Nice little thing. Moving on.
Yeah, I think it's time to move on.
So architecture is really just jaw-dropping here in this city, and both modern and old.
I really like the one on the, gosh darn it, right, left.
That's the left.
Yeah, sure.
People make Glasgow.
Yeah. I'm never going to say right or left again. And then you got, is it stage right or stage left? I'm moving on.
Really quick, nope. The picture on the on the right is just a little preview of the next video. So
we're going to talk much more about this area, and you're going to see all sorts of things happen there. Mm-hmm.
Just random street.
And look at the modern and the ancient.
Glasgow with the double-decker. I mean, come on. You can't get more Scottish than this. It's really cool. Yeah. Moving on, a little bit more of that. Yeah. They had a lot of these kind of closed roads that were just giant pedestrian sidewalks,
totally
kind of
safe.
All over. So
they're everywhere. They
cars
really
can go through it, but it's only so they remove the poles and everything,
poles will
so
drop
the cars
down,
can
and
go through.
Car will go
but there's
through
no
it.
traffic going.
There
through
were other
it.
streets we saw that. We saw it in like maybe even not Inverness, maybe Inverness.
In a place we haven't mentioned.
Oh my goodness! I almost ruined it. Okay.
Moving
We're
on.
just gonna architecture.
Really cool
pretty
architecture. This is big architecture video.
She's not gonna get hit by the car. Stop assuming these things.
This
They
is an
stopped the
interesting
car.
thing about their pedestrian attitude, though, is that, as you can see, pedestrians will just start walking across the street, and people will brake for that. So
Because cars come first. No, I'm just saying.
well, yeah.
So
Moving on.
no, there's a joke there, and no, I'm saying that like because cars can see you,
Yes.
they can stop.
Yes.
So
Yes. Exactly.
versus America, that's the only thing. I
Yeah.
wasn't being weird.
Yeah. But more architecture, more
Just say
the old and new combination, which is always my favorite thing about architecture.
This is where we
And
arrived.
this was just really cool. I just had to show this Central Station. This was just really.
This isn't
beautiful.
where we left from. I don't
No,
think so. No.
it's not where we left, but it is where we came in from.
All right.
One
Some
more.
gorgeous architecture, and this is a
And
different mall.
this is- yes.
It's even bigger, and it was a little bit of a hike to get there, but what a mall!
Oh, look at those stories. Okay,
Is that
so
me?
so that's you. So this is a chain of theirs called Yaya's, and it's basically this particular type of chicken that's
Yep.
actually really popular in the UK.
The putty.
It's like pity chicken, pity. I'm not exactly sure the
I
enunciation.
just butchered it.
but
Now
it's
she
like
can't think of how it's
pity
really said.
pity chicken.
Yeah.
It is African influenced, and so obviously colonizing food, all this stuff. So
Well, that was
delicious, though.
Yes, and they know that they can't make good of their own food in the UK, and
So-
especially England, which is
Yeah.
so they're like, hey, where else has good food? And of course, Scotland is like, we embrace everyone. So
So anyway, so that was our meal in the mall. Oh,
in the mall, we found a pretty awesome Asian store.
So it was like a manga store, had like kind of like a mini queue for Hawaii people, but they had a whole section in the back.
Where you could read.
It was a cafe where
Yep.
you can. There was places you can plug in your laptops and your phone, and you can just hang out. They do have.
I have the same gesture as Totoro in the
Yeah,
other picture.
so cute. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so it was great. The next one is also more of it,
Oh, there's the Julia.
and obviously the selfie.
Well, it's required.
Insta image
Yeah.
for the background. So here we go.
Keep going.
Oh,
Gloria.
and I am so excited. Gloria Jeans. So Gloria Jeans was not. So it wasn't Starbucks because I'm old enough to be able to say this, but it was Gloria Jeans was my very first kind of like chain coffee. Before all the Seattle's Best and Starbucks and Coffee Bean. It was Gloria Jeans, and so
Coffee leaf and tea bean. No.
so anyway, so
Gloria.
we indulged ourselves with some
And it was my
cake
first time.
and coffee at Gloria Jeans because this was very nostalgic for me. So that was awesome.
You can see the book I got in New York City.
Oh yeah.
That's a Thread of an Angel.
And so that's a good overview of Glasgow.
Oh, this is the last one
No,
for
no,
the-
it's where's one more?
Money.
Of course, we always
I'm a
end
big
it
fan of
end
money.
it with money.
So it
So-
is the same as the pound from, but Bank of Scotland does not put the royals on their money.
No,
They don't seem to care about those royally people.
no,
Silly royals.
silly royals.
But this is what their money looked like, and so we wanted to show a few of the
Yep.
bills.
really, really cool looking stuff.
Yeah, some bridges, some other
Yeah.
things, some animals. So
Yeah. Well,
this is Scotland.
this is Scotland.
And
Just
the
a
next video is
little
going to be
overview.
Scotland as well. And
Yes.
the next video is going to be Scotland. But that might be it
That
for
might
Scotland.
be it. Just a couple more. Just bear with us. There's some really cool stuff coming up.
Yes.
All right.
So, hang in there, everybody. Till next time.
Till next time.